What's up, man? How are you doing?
Shit,
Give me the rundown.
just to the grind, man. You know how we do it. We're in fight camp, so it's just the grind, man. Every day,
Yeah, dude, I've been
Yeah,
seeing all your posts and all your stories, and Ricardo and Mark. Looks like you're training super hard out there. Happy that
two
you're
or three
getting it.
times a day. So it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
We're very fortunate. At Team Alpha, that we're a lot of our stuff's over one roof. Our jiu-jitsu, our sparring, our pad work, our strength and conditioning. Here you gotta drive. 30, 40 minutes. Every gym's kind of located. Strength and conditioning. I work with this kid named Carmine out here, 25 years old. Kid's a stud. I mean, he's has vast knowledge in strength and conditioning, how the body works. What kind of fuel we're using, the blood oxygen that we're burning inside of our body. So
Did
training
Frankie hook you up with him or what?
Yeah, it's Frankie's coach.
Yeah, Frankie hooked you up.
Yeah, Frank hooked me up with him, and yeah, Frank's got all the connections, man. He's got
Of course,
Rucker,
man. That's his neck of the woods. He knows
yeah,
everyone.
he's got the wrestling, anything we need, man. Massages, PT, everything, man. So it's good. It's transitioned really well, and this is my second week out here. Just getting the flow. Obviously, with Coach Mark, it's a lot of codes and calls and reads and getting our,
Yeah.
relationship corner chief and fighter relationship going. And man, I feel great. I mean, I'm actually right now just in my notepad right now the codes. So
Yeah, you have to study all those codes.
it's like I'm like flashcard.
Yeah, when Mark came down here, like I was trying to pay attention as much as I could because I'm trying to retain a ton of stuff, but when he's throwing all these codes at me, I'm like, man, some of these are hard to remember. So you just gotta spend time studying them like you always do.
Study and rep them, and then that's the thing. I love being with Coach, in person. A fight we did Skype last time it came out wasn't really, what we needed to get in that kind of coaching. You have to be, I mean, he's calling what's about to be thrown or what he needs you to do to not get hit. So that's kind of like he knows you before you're gonna, he knows what you're gonna do, what's gonna be there before you do. So those codes, make a lot of sense inside there when it's chaos. Another human being trying to knock you out and implement his game plan. So as crazy as it is in the beginning of camp, getting these codes down and having Coach Mark in your ear the whole time sparring, because he's trying to get you to do things that you probably necessarily won't do in sparring, and he's not going to tell you something that's not going to do. Just like you, like, hey, we're going to go in there and work, punches, takedown, work takedowns, and do a lot of the mixed martial arts. This is mixed martial arts for a reason, blending it together. And, so I got a great support system, teammates, coaches, and I'm just excited, man. It's been a slippery slope, but we're slipping upside. So, I'm excited for this. Putting the work in.
I'm excited to come down there, in a few weeks.
Jersey Shore, baby.
Down for a week and, get some training, help out with camp and, just be a training partner.
Guys are excited.
Last time I came out, like Cody, like the first day I came out, Cody had like a really bad like kidney infection, right? And that was from all the COVID, or was it?
I was sick.
Yeah.
No, it was it was so run down. I had basically a cellulitis in my shin for a while. I remember I kept putting had to bandage my shin up with a knee pad, then put a shin pad on and spar. It was just so soft and super sore. I just thought I caught an elbow or a knee in training. And I guess that was, cellulitis was an infection, that was basically it,
I think
when untreated, attacked.
As soon as I got to Jersey, literally the night of, like, he was like, man, I'm sick. I'm peeing blood.
Horrible.
And I was like, damn, really? Like, and you went to the hospital the next day and I was like, hey, like, do you want me to come visit you? He was like, no, man, I don't know what I got. It's like, I was stuck in Jersey at the place he was renting, like all by myself, like supposed to be there for a week. And I was like, well, might as well go get some training in. And I drove all the way to Ricardo Almeida's and, Frankie was there. I saw his like black, he's got a Cadillac. And I was like, oh shit, that's Frankie. And Eddie Alvarez, Frankie was there. It was really good training and they were all super cool to me. So then I came back and Cody was still in the hospital.
Yeah, I called you after like a day or two. I'm like, look, it doesn't look like I'm getting out.
I was
Actually,
like,
I
all
was
right, man, I'm
in
just gonna go
quarantine
back home.
before quarantine. Yeah, so man, I got to head back home. And I didn't make it back to California until like 3 weeks later because then I had to go and see a specialist after I was in the hospital for 7 days here in Jersey. I had to go see a specialist in Cleveland, Ohio. So yeah, I was just getting that underway and then came back home and said I kept checking my blood, IG levels, to see if the levels were rising or lowering or staying the same. And, that was for a while. And then I slowly got back in the training and then fought a Sun South 6 or 7 weeks later, after having like, a little longer layoff from, I was basically in the hospital and as soon as I got healthy and was like figured out after I left the specialist in Cleveland and basically, just got to keep getting tests. I started slowly working back out. And finally, that's where I was like, all right, it was like about 7 weeks. They gave like, hey, you ready for, June? Because we didn't know because Dan was moving the fights around. COVID was going around. We didn't know they had one in Jacksonville. Then we were the first one in Vegas. So yeah, we made it work. But definitely came out of box.
I'm excited to come down there, man. Those guys have always been cool to me every time I've seen them, and I'm looking forward to getting some good training. Yeah. All right, let's switch it up. Story time. Let's talk about both of our like San Fran. I mean, when we and you went to San Francisco together, the first time we went was when, remember that like I was like talking to a girl and she was like, yeah, come down to San Fran. This is before you were in the UFC. This is like when you were first out. We got all dressed up. We had like our log flannels on. We're like, yeah, let's go to San Fran. And then we met up. She's like, yeah, meet us up here. And she was like with her brother and her boyfriend. And I was like, what? Like I was kind of like thrown off because I was like, all right, this is weird. And all I wanted to do is take pictures, which was super cool. Like I'm thankful for the fans, but I was thrown off and like I was I don't know.
Yeah, Chris put me on I thought we were going on a sex drive with Chris, going to San Francisco. He's like, man, get some ass. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come up. See San Fran. This girl pulls up with her brother and her boyfriend. The funniest thing, Chris has come off the Ultimate Fighter when I think you had 2 fights in the UFC at this time.
I don't even remember. I remember, I was like starting
around that time. And this dude shows up in his karate sweatshirt, like letting Chris know, like, hey, man, I'm here with my girlfriend.
Yeah, he let me know he did karate. But then, like, right after that, do you remember? Like, I was like, all right, this other guy wants to meet me, and he wants to take us out to lunch. So I met this other guy, and he was supposedly like, he talked me into like, he was like, man, I'll help you out with your business. We'll launch a website, a LinkedIn. You need to do this, but we should meet for lunch just so I can give you the rundown. So I dragged Cody down there with me. I was like, all right, let's go to lunch. And it turns out, I think this guy was just all talk, wanted us just to hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, where did you take us? I remember we took like a picture of like the top of the hill somewhere with him.
He drove to like Mountain Palace or something. Like one of the drivers around sightseeing. Like,
what kind of vibe did you get from him?
Strange. Strange, but I was like, man, I'm already this far. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're already in this deep, man. Yeah, I was just like longing for the ride. We just got done training. It was a weekend. Wasn't doing else. I've been to San Francisco a few times in my life. So I was like, I gotta go up. That might have been like my second time going up and kind of like venturing out into the city. But then we gotta talk about the trip we went to G-Eazy concert in San Francisco. Chris got these G-Eazy tickets. We were big fans of, G-Eazy. We're, always rocking the shit. Chris we were all doing the slick back. Chris grew out his hair, had the curls in the front. He's had it all down his face. Like,
those are the days.
I love these curls. Yeah, those are the days, man. So we're sitting out there, and for whatever reason, we got there super early. We ended up eating some Panda Express. I got sick. I was like not feeling the best. We were in line. It was pouring down rain, right? Pouring down rain. We're waiting to get in this concert.
This is in the Tenderloin, by the way. If you guys don't know what the Tenderloin is, it's like the most ratchet ghetto crackhead area in San Francisco. But keep going, Cody.
Yeah, just pouring down rain. We had our umbrellas, and the whole time we didn't have our umbrellas like protecting us from the rain or shielding us from the rain, because this crackhead kept coming by and was like just saying the strangest shit, like about cell phones and And I was getting ready, if I had to, crack that motherfucker with this umbrella. And Chris was
we
just the whole
both were,
time.
bro.
Like,
We both were ready.
Rain, we're stoned. I don't feel good. I'm like, man, we can't flip part. We're going to see, G-Eazy. Chris is buying shirts and merchandise.
I bought some fake merch. I bought a fake shirt and a sweatshirt. I thought I was like, I'm going to support, and then it turns out it was fake. I was like, man, it shrunk up as soon as it washed it.
Got hustled. Yeah, about rapper jaw when you put it on. Like, damn, we getting there. This is the real shit. He said, I didn't know. But yeah, that was a good time. And then obviously the speakers weren't working, so it kind of was like.
So that was his. I went through a whole G-Eazy phase. That was like when These Things Happen CD came out.
Yeah.
And Kaylani opened for him, and I forgot where the actual venue was, but it was fun. So basically, San Francisco is pretty crazy. If you're in the wrong areas, you might get jacked or see some crackheads smoke some crack or something. But now switching this up, because we were kind of talking about like strange people who want to take you out to lunch and do nice things for you, but let's talk about weird sponsors, because I think anybody who's been,
Are you talking about?
I think like we've both encountered like weird I'm not going to say weird, but like interesting folk who've either wanted to help out and be friends or give us money for whatever reason. I don't know what their intentions were, maybe just to help, maybe there are others, but I know myself, I've had a few. Bless soul, Brian, this guy, Brian Vargo, he passed away, but this guy, he used to hook me up big time, but he was weird. I don't know why he wanted, to hook me up, but.
What do you mean? What was he doing? Like buying your socks and shit, or like that weird? Or
no. Those are, yeah, I got a couple of those messages too. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was on some different stuff. Like he just wanted to be my sponsor and like just me give him shout outs like every time I fought. But
on the mic, like Gargos. Those guys are great. Those people were great, man.
Yeah, he would send me money. He would send me money pretty much. He would just send me money and I would just like shout him out or put him on my shorts or banner. But let's talk about Big K.
What's the weirdest thing that you had to do for sponsorship money?
I haven't done anything weird, bro.
Shit, yeah, man.
Yeah, I can't even say because it's yeah. But not like
I was there for another podcast.
Nothing weird, yeah, nothing weird. But what about Big K? You remember Big K?
Oh, Big K.
I had to, so before Cody made it, I met this guy eating at McCooney's. Like he just like paid for everybody's dinner. And I looked over there and he just kind of gave me like one of these and it was like, hey, I'm a big fan. Like, I just want to pay for your guys' dinner. And I was like, cool, man. Like, thank you very much. As soon as I got home, I got a Facebook message and he was like, hey, this is Boom. This is the guy who paid for your dinner. All I want to do is help out. I'm a big fan. What's your address? So I was like, all right, cool. Like I sent him my address and like literally like 3 days later, I had like $1,000 gas card. I had a check, I was like, damn, like, dude, I didn't have to do anything for this. So that, he did that a couple times. Then, invited me over for fights. And I always kind of had like I was like, I can't go over here by myself because I don't know what this guy is going to try to do or whatever. So the first time I brought my boy Owen. I brought Owen, remember? I brought Owen with me. I was like, man, if this guy tries anything weird, like Owen's going to have my back. So nothing was weird. I brought Owen with me. And then finally I was like, all right, let me introduce Cody to him.
Let your guard down a little bit.
Yeah, so Cody started to get popular. And this is like right around the time like I kind of stopped fighting and I had like a little hiatus. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not just going to let this, burn to the bridges. Like I'm going to pass it on to Cody because now Cody's taken off and it would be cool if like Ken can do the same thing he was doing to me for Cody and help him out coming up. So what, tell me, what was the first time? How did you meet Big K?
I was there the first time we all bought the sushi for us.
Oh, were you there the first time?
It was me, you, Joe, and Lance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Then he gave me some gas cards too, and he's gonna move you into an apartment and shit.
Man, yes, I forgot. I
buy
didn't
you
mention
furniture
that.
and shit.
Dude, this guy, he was
pretty
like,
bad.
hey, because I was living with, people at the time, and I was looking for my own spot, and he was like, hey man, like, I'll help you out. I'll move you into an apartment downtown. And we literally, like, I looked at an apartment. It was like a high rise in downtown. And I looked around, I looked out the windows, and I was like, this would be pretty sick. And then it just kind of went off. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this guy's like trying to like give me an apartment. Like, I'm good. So I was like, nah, man, you know what? Like, this doesn't feel right. And I passed him on to Cody.
Yeah, I got a couple gas cards. Fuck it. That's it.
Dude, remember when I was like, hey, let's take him out to sushi and like let's start like talking about vulgar stuff, like just bringing up
Yeah.
like old whatever, you know what I mean? Just to see if
Oh,
we
yeah.
can get like a kick out of
Yeah,
it.
he's done some shit before, bro. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that was funny.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, there's always those kind of experiences with fans, and some are good, some are just like, whoa, like it's super weird, man. Super weird.
I couldn't
shit.
imagine how like girls like get, like
Oh,
bombarded. Yeah, like especially ones that are in the UFC. Like I bet you they're getting some weird stuff.
Oh, guarantee. I mean, for sure they have to. There's something.
Yeah.
It's the world that we live in, man. But yeah, wow, what crazy throwback story time to that, huh?
Yeah, like, hey, this is the raw uncut. Yeah, I want people to, get some good laughs and
get some good laughs. Understand the come up, the shit that we
the
had to
real,
do.
like,
you know what I mean? out here getting apartments and shit, paying. I think you had a sugar daddy, Chris. I think that was called a sugar daddy.
Is that a sugar baby?
Yeah, I think you were a sugar baby, man, for sure.
Oh man,
that's living a high rise, but yeah, and it's crazy how things work out, with that, and here we are now. And
dude, and then you just blew up from like there.
Yeah,
you won the title. Just knocking everybody out, won the title, and now you got tons of your own stuff going on. Big fight coming up.
Big fight.
All right, let's go into some Q&A. We got
Q&A.
some questions, answers. Now I had a ton from the first time, and I basically just screenshotted as many as I could. So this was from a couple weeks ago, and we're gonna do another fresh batch for next week. So if you guys been waiting to drop another question, wait for the story. I'll put it in my story and make sure you guys drop me a question, and we'll pick the best ones. All right, first one, Andy _ for real. What style of fighter do each of you enjoy fighting the most? Will it be like a boxer, a striker, a wrestler, a grappler? I'll start it off. For me, I would love just to fight a striker who doesn't have any ground game, because I know I'm just going to take this guy down and submit him. But that's not saying anything about me. I like guys who think they're well-rounded and who think I don't know how to strike, because then they get surprised pretty quick when they get tagged up. And then I can work my ground game and showcase my all-around mixed martial arts skill. So I like guys who underestimate my striking, and then I tag them up and piece them up and then take them down. Or, the ones who don't have any ground game, and, I just make quick work of them. What about you, Cody?
For me, I like the guys that come forward. That's a fun fight for me. I want to kind of like test their mettle.
Yeah, of course. You're gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I like those dudes. You know what I mean? But I also like a guy that covers, and you can really unload some. If they cover up a lot, you can really unload some heavy strikes on them. I like that well-rounded too. I like to kind of do the up downs. And I think with the up downs too, it's not only that it's skill wise of blending it together, but it's also just pure heart. I mean, when you have someone mixing up and down, you're doing up downs and doing the whole martial arts, it's tiring. It's like you have to be well prepared to go the distance, and if it needs to, and at a very high pace, red line the whole time if you have to. That's something that I look forward to in these next future fights, is like really pushing, the pace inside there, and obviously being more skilled and fast. Like that's already had those cards with on my side. Then it comes to being smart and picking your shots, but also where the fight goes. That's what I'm excited for. A well-rounded guy that's going to make you level up in there. That's where I like to.
Yeah.
but also like a guy that just comes in there and puts his hands down, tee off on it. That's a perfect world.
Yeah, right. All right, next question. Mike Jones, will Cody get into celebrity boxing after UFC? Like, say, a big opportunity comes up, like a Triller or, big money fight. Is that something that interests you?
As far as celebrity boxing, I mean, there's no celebrity that I would, fight. Probably per se. I don't know. But now if you're talking about cross promotion with the UFC, if I'm still with the UFC contract and they're doing cross promotion with, Top Rank or they'll probably never do Golden Boy, but Top Rank, where you can go in there and actually box legit guys, where I can have a full training camp, for a boxing match. Of course, I would love to go in there, but celebrity shit, I don't know, man. I've been watching Lamar Odom. He's been, he's what, 2-0 now in boxing. Be Aaron Carter, and then he just be another guy that I would still. So it's pretty cool. It's entertaining to see a lot of the guys go in there and do that. But I mean, I want to fight the best. I mean, if I'm in the sport, training for it.
I think it would be a good opportunity, if it's a big bag, a big money fight, not a celebrity per se, because I don't think that's worth, the risk. Fight somebody who has a name in the combat, sports world and get a big bag.
Yeah, get a big bag for sure. It's all about the big bags.
All right, next one. What is dating life like being a well-known fighter and coach? So I don't know if that's
that's for you, buddy.
No, it's not. It's for you.
And a coach?
No, I think it's for both of us. I think it's for both of us. Being a well-known fighter like yourself, and I guess a coach. I can tell you one thing: the dating life is not as good as the well-known the coach for the well-known fighter.
Don't lie, bro. Don't sugarcoat that shit. You know you're swimming in that.
No, yeah, right.
Swimming through that shit. Come on, man.
But
got those baby blues on. Lady killer out here. Maybe being modest. Everyone that's watching, Chris is being modest right now. I will say that. But go on.
I don't go on any dates. Yeah, I'm just here at the gym all day. Yeah.
All day.
If the right one comes along, you never know. She might steal my heart.
Oh shit! Hey, whatever. Are you leaning on to something? Are you leaning into something? You got a girl? You got someone you're falling for? That sounded like some feeling shit. That was deep.
Oh no! Are you seeing
blushing?
Come out?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What? No, we'll talk offline.
All right.
But yeah, Cody's been in a relationship. He's been wifed up for a while, so he can't really. But beforehand, what was it like, Cody?
It's crazy, man. It's honest. It's tough to understand or find like a real true girl, that likes you for who you are. Because it's we're in such a very popular sport. We're very recognizable, especially if you have won a world championship or you've done amazing things inside of your profession. Especially with the UFC, it's so such a popular sport across the world. So yeah, it's pretty wild at times, That's all I say.
It's like
you sit back and you're like, this shit's can't be real. But yeah, it's part of the journey. It's part of life, man. So it is.
Yeah. There was another question, but we won't answer it. We'll just move on. But it was pretty funny. They're like, how many times have you and Cody been Eskimo bros? All right, next question. What strength conditioning workout is invaluable to your training as an MMA fighter?
Is it invaluable?
Yeah, so I'm assuming, and this is from Kevin Morley 74. I'm assuming he's asking what's the most important, as far as strength conditioning for MMA. And I'll answer that right off the bat. I think skills and technique are most important, but strength conditioning is a big chunk and block, especially keeping the body healthy, keeping the body strong. You can't have a weak body going into there, a weak core, a weak back. And with the right strength conditioning program and coach, you're going to build all that up. You're going to build a crazy cardiovascular system. I'm a huge, I like a lot of body weight stuff now, or kettlebells. I'm not like a CrossFit type of person. I don't want to rush through workouts and injure myself. Now that I'm in my mid 30s, I'm more about quality over because those grades are coming in. So yeah, I'm trying to be more about quality and not quantity. And that's like
quality
in
reps.
all aspects of life. So I think just not overdoing it and really focusing on the skill aspects of mixed martial arts. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that strength and conditioning is a huge part of the sport, and that it's needed as a professional fighter because we go through so many different cardiovascular systems, different martial arts, skills, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, judo, all the stuff that beats your body down. And there's no off season. We're always constantly training to, fill those voids if we have voids in wrestling or we have voids in, cardio output, things that we need to, fix. So we're always constantly tweaking this, tweaking that, adding this, taking away this, but honestly, really never taking away anything. You're always still doing that, but the stuff that you need to get better at, you're doing more of. So I feel like strength and conditioning, and a lot of fighters don't do this to preserve their body, like you said. Like strength and conditioning is supplemented work, but it is needed probably just as much as the work that you're doing in an 8 to 10 week camp, outside of, how much I do strength and conditioning. And that's more for staying mobile, keeping your, ligaments strong, your back, your hips, everything just moving, because you're moving so fast and you're in different uncompromised positions inside of martial arts that your body has to be kind of strong everywhere. So definitely strength and conditioning for me.
Good question, Kevin. All right, next thing we're going to talk about, let's get the holds it down breakdown. We'll get the no love breakdown as well. Let's talk about our boy, Mike Malott, with the crazy guillotine. I think it's the second fastest submission in contender history, 39 seconds. He came in, swung a big, was that like a right hook? I think he it was like a switch hook trying to take his head off. The guy changed levels perfectly, got the takedown, but he left his neck right for the taking. And first, Mike had like an arm in guillotine, and he used it perfect. The guy tried to pass weak side like he's supposed to do, stopped the hip, and then Mike had his butterfly hook still inside, and then went to the high elbow guillotine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had the S grip too.
Yeah,
I rewatched it this morning. He went high elbow guillotine, turned him over, and the guy just turned back in, and that's when he resat through the leg over the head, and it was a perfect finish to win him a UFC contract. Man, that was awesome to see, Mike. I was pretty emotional just because, like, watching a guy like you've just been around for a while, and he kind of went away from the fight game and was a coach for 4 years. He didn't want to fight anymore, and he went like gung ho into helping people. Helping people get ready for fights, coaching here at the gym. And he dove deep into getting really good at jiu-jitsu and becoming as best as he could. And, now like all those dividends are paying off. And it's just cool to see his family was there. And like when he hugged his dad, I was like, man, for me, when I fought, like I did it, I did it for my family. I wanted to make my mom proud. I wanted to make my family proud. And like, so for me, that's what it's all about. What do you think about it, man?
Yeah, I think that the backstory, like you said, on Malott, he stepped away from the sport. He was done. He was removed himself from it, but also came back, was coaching and helping out a lot of guys, myself included, for a few fight camps. And he fought about a year ago was his first fight back. He won that, I think, by submission too, right?
Yeah. He got hit with a hard shot, then he came back and jumped on the guy's back.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. So he's been all in. He's been all in and got his mind right, and he's really leveled up a lot. He's like, Mike's really good. He's very well rounded, and has a very high fight IQ. He's doing setting up traps and stand ups and jiu-jitsu too. So just to see that, come alive and for his family to be there and know what he's been through. You know, it's hard to step away from the sport. We're being removed from 4 years and then to come back and like, now look, you're living your dream. You're in the UFC. You just got a contract. Super happy for him and his family. He's a great kid. You know, he's our boy, you know.
Yeah, he's our boy. And this is the only reason I'm bringing it up because it was freaking funny to me. But he tried so hard not to cry on TV, like 3 or 4 times. I was like, come on, just let it out. I was like, let it out, bro.
Fucking cry, man.
He was like, he'll go into the tears, but he was just like, all right, I can't let him see me cry. I can't let him see me cry. He's like, somebody can watch it. I can't cry in front of my boys.
Hell no, man.
Yeah, I loved it, man. It was just all emotion. It was very cool to see. So shout out to Mike Malott.
Shout out to Mike. Big Mur was out there too. That was cool to see.
Yeah, and then Dana White was like that buff Canadian. He gave him that shout out. He was like, "Come get this contract."
That buff Canadian, and Malott's still just in his fight shorts, no shoes, and shirt, walking around.
No shirt.
Get this guy a tan. Probably got burned up from cage lights in there. Probably put some sunscreen on him. But no, super shot.
I love how they do that. Just the whole thing with the contender, how they bring you back there, and then Dana kind of talks you through. Then have the family there, and they showcase you hugging the family. That was cool. That was like the first time I watched like a full thing of contender in a while, because like usually I just watched the fight and that's it. But like to watch the whole thing, I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool process.
Yeah, it's good. There's always something like those fights are amazing. I mean, like in your mind, like, you know, you went to the Ultimate Fighter, you know, defeated everybody, you know, becoming an Ultimate Fighter champion. And, you know, that's amazing. That shows a lot of resilience to go in there and stay in a house with the people that you're fighting, you know, for weeks on end, you know, removed from your family, your coaches, your comfort zone, to go in there and win that. That's amazing. That's you're the ultimate warrior doing that, being able to do that. But these fights allow people to come in here and just be like, this is my shot. So you see these guys going for it, and they're putting on exciting fights, getting contracts. You know, but for
I heard Dana is like, he's mean to him, bro. I heard like from somebody who listened to his, like, you know, how he does his before thing. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if you guys come in here and try to submit somebody. I want to see a fight. You come here, you got to earn that contract. So I was like, oh man, you know how Dana gets.
Yeah, he gets pumped
right, man. It's all about entertainment.
I like those Dana White pre-fight speeches, you know, right before.
They get you hyped. They get you hyped.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like I remember just my first one, and then obviously the last one. It's always similar, but it's like, man, you're gonna give me extra money to go knock this motherfucker out. Like, shake on it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, you want to finish up with anything, man? We talked about a lot.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. I absolutely love, you know, setting aside a time, you know, for this podcast, going back to our stories, upcoming, the past, you know, obviously showcasing, you know, some future things that's coming up. You know, you trip to New Jersey with us out here in training camp. So things are going great on my end. You know, I'm just, you know, obviously everyone listening, hope you enjoy, keep sending the positivity, you know, throughout fight camp and until December 11th. That's the main goal.
Yeah, man, I'm loving all the feedback. Everybody I've talked to reached out, said they're loving the podcast. So if you guys haven't subscribed to it yet, make sure you guys subscribe so it comes right to your phone. You're able to listen to it and get a notification right away. It helps us out as well. The more listens, more subscriptions, the more popular and apparent it's going to be on the podcast page. So show us some love. You can even do it like a comment or review, right? Leave us a review. Show us some love. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was episode 4. Catch us next time.